Fantasy Flight Games just sent over the Darth Maul Legends of the Force Spotlight deck for Star Wars Unlimited from we're in set 5 now, which is wild. But we're going to do an unboxing, take a look at this pre-constructed deck, and see what it's all about. Now, one of my favorite characters in this series is Maul. I really enjoyed Maul from the Twilight set. I'm going to stop talking while I open this. Just brute force it. So we do get a pack. We get one booster pack in this, and this is the replacement product for the 2-player starter sets that came out in the first 3 sets. They've switched over to Spotlight decks, so we have a Maul and we have a Qui-Gon deck. I believe it's Qui-Gon, but now I'm second guessing because it feels like it should be Obi with Maul. I believe it's a Qui-Gon deck that are supposed to be a little bit more competitive than the Spotlight decks were. They still have the special rarity cards in them, where you can only get them in this deck, but also now in the holo slot of the booster packs. And they contain cards from across multiple sets. So, not just contained to that set. So we have the deck, and then we also have some starter tokens here. Just some cardboard ones, along with a first player token that you can use. So let's hop into the deck, and then maybe at the end we'll take a look at that pack. But I am curious about what the deck looks like. So Maul is our leader. He is our special leader, denotated by that little black S down in the right bottom hand corner, meaning that you can only get him in these packs. He's not going to be a leader. That would just be in like a normal pack. It says action use the Force, which is the main mechanic in this set. It's a limited resource where you can only ever have one of the Force. You either have the Force or you don't. Maybe binary is a better word for it. You either have the Force or you don't. And there's a couple of different ways to get the Force. We'll probably go into that with the next card in here. But it says use the Force. You have to exhaust Maul to do that. Deal 1 damage to a unit and then 1 damage to a different unit. Like highly thematic, right? With the double-bladed lightsaber, we're doing damage to multiple units. And then as an epic action, if we control 6 or more resources, we can deploy him as a leader. So he comes out, he's a 6/5/6. On attack, deal a damage to a unit and 1 damage to a different unit. So, kind of interesting. The way that I read this is that if the enemy only has 1 unit, you are dealing damage to a unit that you control, which could potentially be Maul. That could be kind of bad. But a 6/5/6 on attack with some ping damage is nice, especially because it's on attack that takes place before the attack goes through. Pop a shield or something like that, and then let the full force that 5 swing in. One of the other things that's happened in this Legend of Force set is we do have this new kind of watermark here. This denotates that this is a Force user. So many of the cards in this set kind of revolve around having a Force unit on the table. So this is just a aesthetic that they added to help you quickly identify if you do have a Force unit. So you'll see that throughout the deck. If it has that Force trait, it's going to have that marker. That's Darth Maul. We're running Darth Maul in a Vigilance deck. So this is one of the Vigilance bases, blue base. This is the main way that I have seen so far that you get the Force in this set. So this is a 28 health base, which is a deviation from our normal common bases of 30, but it does have an ability that says when a friendly Force unit attack, remember, now that watermark's already coming back into play, the Force is with you. When the Force is with you, you have the Force, which then you can use, and you can have the Force or you can't have the Force. You can't have 2 Forces. So when a friendly Force unit attacks, the Force is with you. Each one of the common bases and all of the different colors have this same text with the 28 health. So red-blue, I love the color combination. Vigilance is probably my favorite way to play, and as I've been dipping my toes into more aspects and kind of limiting myself away from Vigilance just because I like it so much, I've been enjoying Aggression a lot. Command I started out liking a lot. I really still haven't figured out Cunning, but I'm excited to see what we got here. Here's the Force token. Look at that. So you either have the Force or you don't. Set that in tips and tricks and stuff. We'll put that here. But I'm sure there's going to be a ton of custom Force tokens that are being built out there. We've got a couple of experience and shield tokens as well with some new art. I'll show those off. And then we've got our first card. We've got Ogdo Bogdo. So the sub theme in this set is creatures. So this is a 3/5/5 insanely powerful stat line. This unit can't attack unless it's damaged, which is really good for Darth Maul because you can deal a damage to a unit, including your own. So if Darth Maul drops this bad boy, he can deal a damage to himself, and then you have a 3/5/5 unit that's insane stat value right there. When this unit attacks and defeats a unit, we have to heal 2 damage from the unit, which then could put it up to its full health, meaning that we could not attack with it again. That being said, this is not a force unit, but if you did have this, you swing in, took out a unit, it's probably going to take some damage, and so maybe that 2 damage doesn't heal it all the way up to full. Interesting card. Interesting. I like it with Maul where you can damage him yourself. Or just drop a Sentinel on him. Drop like a Protector or something like that. Give him Sentinel. I just opened, was it Ahsoka? Yeah, so this is, now we're kind of deviating from what's in the pack, but just, I won't do this too much. But the Ahsoka, you can give a friendly unit Sentinel. So now it has Sentinel. They have to attack into it, then you can attack into that. Next up we got Pong Krell. Another new card from this set. This is a 7-cost Vigilance Villainy unit. The last Pong Krell we had was not Villainy. It's a 2/9 grit, meaning it gets +1 attack for every damage it has on it. 7 drop. Wow. When this unit completes an attack and survives, you may defeat a unit with less remaining hit points than this unit's power. Fascinating. I don't know how good this is going to be in like Premier play because it's not activating until resource turn 8, and if you're not getting value out of your turn 7 drop that turn, you're playing heavy control, or it's just not. Or it's probably just not going to see play. It's a really cool effect though. I like it. If we could use this in Han 2, that'd be a lot of fun. Also, like Darth Maul is going to love grit because you can ping yourself. Darth Maul, like Nebula, or not Nebula, oh my gosh, I'm in Marvel Champions. Asajj, those two are the same to me. Would be a really fun Twin Suns deck. Got Count Dooku, this is from the Twilight set. So Count Dooku at an 8/6/6, but it is an exploit 2, meaning you can stack up to 2 units and discount the printed cost of this unit by 2 for each unit sacked. And then when played for each unit you exploited this way, you can deal damage to an enemy unit using the power of the exploited unit. So if you exploit this creature and Pong Krell with, say he has no damage, you deal 7 damage as you play Count Dooku. It does have an overwhelm as well, meaning any excess damage dealt to a unit during an attack is going to overwhelm into that base. We got a lot of one-off cards. I wonder if they put all the rare cards at the front. It does look like they put a lot of the rare cards at the front, and those are just like one-offs in this deck. We got the Sith Holocron. This is a new to me card. It's a 1-cost Aggression Villainy attached to a Force unit. And then on it gives a +1/+1 static bonus. And then on attack, you can deal 2 damage to your friendly unit. If you do, this unit gets +2/+0 for the attack. I really like the combo that we're seeing here. So if we throw this on a Force unit, actually really funny. I guess because, sorry, Eclectic Nelson, right? But since this is on a previous set, it doesn't have that Force symbol, whereas like the one printed here does. So you can kind of see the difference there, even though this does have the Force trait. Anyways, but I do really like the combo here. So you can deal damage here to attack because he can't attack. You can do it with a grit unit, so you can get some major value out of getting 2 damage, which is now 2 more power onto something. That's pretty cool. Got a Fallen Lightsaber. This is from set 1. One of my favorite cards from set 1, just because I love Grand Inquisitor. 3-cost attachment +3/+3. If the attached unit is a Force unit, it gains deal 1 damage to each ground unit the defending player controls. Good stuff. Combo that with a Tarkin Town and snipe something. Okay, here we go. We got 3 copies of this common. It's a 1-cost Aggression 1/3 Force Knight. It is the hidden keyword. This is a new keyword that was announced in this set. Hidden means that it cannot be attacked the phase it was played. So you play it. It's very vulnerable because it comes in exhausted. all that bad stuff. So now hidden means that you can just sneak around it. A one cost 1/3 force is nice. Um, kind of. It's nice that it will get you your force unit or your force token. We got Karis, which is looks like another Night Sister. So 2 cost, 2/4. When defeated, you may use the force. If you do, give a unit -2/-2 for this phase. A 2/4 is a pretty decent stat line to see on that first drop. I don't love the attack, that's a little bit high, but it's going to survive most, if not all, turn 1 drop attacks. So if you play Karis on turn 1, whatever they play on turn 1, even if they have the initiative, she should survive that attack with the 4 health, which means that you can attack and get the force. So a 2 drop with a higher HP that can survive before you get attacked is going to be really nice, because one of the concerns that I have is that if you win initiative, are you going to be able to just deny the force to your opponent the entire game? Whereas if you have someone like this, you can then swing in and get the force. We'll see. I haven't played any from this set, so we'll see how it goes. Next up, we got the Night Sister Warrior. Pretty sick art here. 2 cost, 2/2. When defeated, draw a card. Alrighty. You get some Thrawn synergy from the last set. Thrawn and the Night Sisters have been working together, kind of in their own little universe that was talked about in one of the recent shows. And so the Thrawn being able to double up a when defeated, getting some of these Night units to have defeated effects here and here. So it'd be a -2/-2 to 2 units, or drawing 2 cards. That's some fun synergy. We got Acolyte of the Beyond, another 2 cost, aggression villainy 2/3. It's a Sith unit. On attack and when defeated, the force is with you. Okay, so this is kind of interesting because so this is not a force unit. However, it will give you the force on attack. That's cool. And when it's defeated, don't want to really double that with Thrawn because you can only have one of them. We got 3 copies of the Strike ship. I do think that they have really stepped up the art over the last couple of sets. I'm very happy with the art. Strike ship is a 2-drop space unit, the first space unit that we have seen in this box. 0/3 with raid 3, meaning that on attack it gets +3 attack, and it has overwhelm. Not too bad. Not too bad. Very aggressive, right? I like the aggression push that they have there. That's pretty cool. Or like having, like, if you're aggro, not aggression. I get aggression and aggro, but like it's very aggro, right? Just go, 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 go. Hopefully it's going to survive an attack. Space units on the first drop, or I mean a 3 attack is pretty high for a space unit. Unfortunately, it would just attack or deal 0 damage back on a defense. But look at this art. This art is so cool. I love it. It's the Infused Brawler, 2 cost 2/2. When played, you may use the force. If you do, give 2 experience tokens to this unit. When this unit completes an attack, defeat an experience token on it. That's interesting. So it comes in. I don't think you start the game with the force. So on a turn 1, I don't know if I like this card. On a turn 1 drop, it's going to be a 2 for a 2/2. Not great. On a turn 2 drop, it could come in as a 4/4, which is much, much better. It's interesting. It's interesting. You could pair it up, but again, like, how important is initiative going to be in this set? I think that's going to be the big question. Got Kylo Ren. This is a only villainy card, 2 cost, 2/3 overwhelm. When you play an upgrade on this unit, you may use the force. If you do, draw a card. That's interesting because the 2 attack with overwhelm is not that interesting to me, but if you throw a fallen lightsaber on him on turn 2, you drop that Kylo Ren, drop a fallen lightsaber. Now he's a 5/6 on turn 2. You're swinging in with overwhelm. You play an upgrade, you get to draw a card. Or Voltron and Kylo Ren. That sounds kind of fun. You do open yourself up to like some pretty heavy like control. You don't have to worry about that. Marin, another Force Knight, 3 cost, 2/5. On attack, you can discard a card from your hand. If you do, deal 2 damage to a unit. Interesting. Okay. Someone smarter than me, let me know what the synergies are for discarding, because I'm sure there's going to be things like, maybe not in this box here, but there's going to be things that you can throw in your discard pile. I'm thinking Dr. Alpha kind of has synergy with multiple cost cards in their discard pile. I don't know. There's some stuff there. But I do think of the Night Sisters as being like reanimators in the lore, and so I'm wondering if we're going to get some stuff that can like pull cards back from the discard pile that she's going to have synergy with. Talzin's Assassin, we have 3 copies of this Vigilance card. It's a 4, cost 4/4. When played, you may use the Force. If you do, give a unit -3/-3 for the phase. I like it a lot, actually. So, immediate impact when it hits the table, you're probably going to have the Force from your turn 1 unit attacking, right? So you don't have the Force turn 1, resource turn 3, or turn 2. You have the Force when that Force unit attacks. You can use the Force, but then when you go into turn 4, if you have the Force, you can play Talzin's Assassin. -3/-3 is probably going to take out any of their turn 1 or turn 2 drops, especially if you've damaged it before. So I like Talzin's Assassin. That's kind of fun. And then it's also a Force, so you can get your Force back. Really fascinating thematically that we have Chirrut in this deck. I didn't think Chirrut and Maul would be hanging out. Maybe I missed a comic or something in there. This is a 3/5 for a 4-drop with Sentinel. When this unit is attacked, you may use the Force. If you do, the attacker gets -2/-0 for the attack. Interesting. There's a lot of ways to get or to use the Force. I just need to crank some games out to see how good it's, or how easy it's going to be to maintain that Force to use it over and over. This is our first special card of the box. This is Darth Tyrannus, meaning that we can only get this card in this specific box, or they now are in the hollow slots of some of our packs. Darth Tyrannus is a 4 cost, 4/3 with shielded, meaning that you prevent the next source of damage. When the Force is with you, this unit also gains ambush. Now that's pretty cool because you don't have to use the Force to give him ambush. You just have to have the Force. So if you have the Force, you can ambush it in, and because ambush and shielded are within the same timing window, there's some fun tricks that if you're ambushing into something that has less than 3 damage, you can ambush into, say, like Witch of the Mist, ambush into it, take 1 damage, then apply the shield. Or if you're going into something that has more than 3 damage, whatever. Count 2. You can play it, shield, ambush in, pop the shield just for that turn. So I think Darth Tyrannus is pretty cool. I like the flexibility there. Got the Scimitar. This is another special unit, or special card. This is Maul's ship. It's a 4-drop, 3/4. When this unit is damaged, it becomes a +3/+0. So it's a 6/3 if you like ping 1 damage with Maul. Interesting. That can be pretty mean. 6 in space on resource turn 4. Alrighty. We got Thralls of the Coven. This is a 5 cost, 3/7 raid 3. This right here is what I love to see when I'm thinking about my set 1 Grand Inquisitor. It has 3 or less power. We can use our ability to deal 2 damage to ready it up, and then it's going to swing in for 6. That's cool right there. So raid 3, 3/7. It's going to be around for a while. It is not Force traded, so you're not getting the Force when it attacks. So I think thematically it makes a lot of sense in this deck, in the Darth Maul deck, but I want this in my Grand Inquisitor deck. Got Savage Oppress. Savage. 6. Oh, I remember seeing this card. He's a 6, costs 9 power, 6 health. Insane. He has Overwhelm. Crazy. When played and when defeated, you may use the Force. If you don't, deal 9 damage to your base. So it's a little bit tricky, right? Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So 9 power on a 6-drop is insane. However, you have to make sure that you have the force to use it before he gets taken out. There's going to be a lot of like seesawing and like tiptoeing around your opponent to make sure that they're not about to take out Savage when you don't have the force. But you could attack, and I believe I'm like 99% sure this is how it works. If you don't have the force, you could attack with Savage into Count Dooku. You would get the force from the when attack damage would be applied. You would take out Dooku. Dooku would take out a press, and then you could use the force that you just gained from Savage because he is a force unit attacking. That's kind of cool. We got Darth Sidious. Love it. Special card. 8 cost. Wow. 8 cost 6/8. He's a Restore 2. When played, you may use the Force. If you do, defeat each non-Sith unit with 3 or less remaining hit points. Sick. Sick. That's cool. On an 8 drop. On an 8 drop, it's potentially, you know, how many units are you going to have with 3 or less health. But I want to combo this with Snoke. So Snoke gives every enemy unit -2/-2, so you're really kind of getting more or closer to that. It's also just a token slayer, right? Like if you're going up against Vader and he has his army of 8 TIE fighters, Darth Sidious just wipes them. We got Darth Maul's lightsaber. I really, really like this card, and not just because it's for this leader, but it for Darth Maul, the unit that we got in Twilight, where it can attack 2 units. Because when played, if the attached unit is Darth Maul, you may attack with him. For this attack, he gains Overwhelm and cannot attack bases, and it's a +4/+2. So, straight up, if you just play it here on Darth Maul, you're attacking with Maul. You're getting a little bit of tempo acceleration there because you're playing and attacking. So 2 actions in 1. You're attacking for 9. You can't attack a base, but attack something, you get overwhelmed, so any damage can be applied to it there. However, what I really want to do is throw this into a deck that utilizes the Twilight Maul, where it can attack 2 units. So now I believe it has a 5 power. I think it's a 5/6 as well. I think that's the stat line for it. But then it'd become a 9, attack 2 units, and it overwhelms both of those units. This is the combo I live for in this game. We got Drain Essence. This is a 2 cost Vigilance Villainy. Deal 2 damage to a unit. The Force is with you. 2 damage is mediocre, but got 2 damage, and then you get the Force. So it's another way to kind of get the Force. So you have what was it? Acolyte of the Beyond, Drain Essence. So other ways rather than just the base action to get the Force. So that's kind of nice. Then our last card, another set 1 card. We got the Force Choke, 2 copies of it. If you control a Force unit, this event costs 1 less to play. Deal 5 damage to a non-vehicle unit. Then that unit's controller draws a card. Cool synergies throughout the deck. I like it. I like the special cards, I think, more than I love the deck. I guess it's good. It's fun. I think it'll be fun. A couple of tweaks here or there, but I'm excited for it. I think Maul is going to be a really fun leader to run. Maul, maybe like a fun like double red, pair him with Tarkentown or something. That'd be fun. Let's open the pack and see what we got. We got Obi-Wan Kenobi. There you go. That's what I needed. It's Obi-Wan and Darth Maul. So now they are actually united and we can fight. So use the Force. Give a experience token to a unit without an experience token. If you control 5 or more, you deploy him. He's a 3/6 on attack. Give an experience token to another unit without an experience token. I'm just gonna put these off screen. Got the Crystal Caves. Same thing. Just yellow. 6/6/6 shielded. It is Force unit. Consumed by the dark side. Give 2 experience tokens. Give 2 experience tokens to a unit, then deal 2 damage to it. That's kind of fun. Attack with a creature unit. It gets +4/+0 for the attack. +4/+0. That's actually kind of wild. I mean, like you have like Surprise Strike for +3. Now it does have to be a creature unit, but still, like the sub theme here is creatures, so we should have plenty of those. Speaking of creatures, 5. When played, deal 1 damage to a ground unit. Alrighty. Inquisitor's lightsaber. I think this is the first saber that we have that's a common. I think the rest of them are at least specials, uncommons, or rares. Attached to a non-vehicle unit. When attacking a force unit, oh, it gets +2. So it's a +1, +3. But when it's attacking a force unit, it does also not need to be a force unit. So you can throw this on like R2, and then he gets +3 when he's attacking a force unit. That's kind of fun. I like that. Oh, hey, look. Night Sister Warrior. We're very familiar with that card. Strike Ship we're also familiar with. Hyperspace Wayfarer. Look at this guy. He's a 6 cost 4/10. I think there's a card where you like basically deal damage equal to the health in this set. So we have some really high health units to try and build into that strategy. 3 in Essence. We've seen that. Wow, there's a lot of... We got a lot of cards that were in this starter deck in this pack. Play a force unit from your hand, paying its cost against ambush for this phase. The next time it would be dealt damage, prevent 2 of that damage. That's cool. So we're getting a little bit of ambush added in outside of green. Like we have Timely Intervention, we have Energy Conversion Lab, but now we have a yellow way to give ambush. You can't smuggle it, and it's going to cost like 1 more, but I still really like it, especially because you can prevent that damage. Okay, Owen. Restore 2. It's a Moisture Farmer. Look at that. When defeated, search the top 5 cards for a force unit and reveal it. We got Luke's father figure. Pelimoto. 2 cost 1/4 on attack. Give an experience token to a friendly vehicle or droid unit. I like that. I love the theme in this deck. A rare is Rey. I like Rey here. 5 for a 5/5. When you draw this card during the action phase, if you control a red leader or a base, you may reveal this card from your hand. If you do, deal 2 damage to a unit and 2 damage to a base. So red has a lot of like additional draw effects, and I've never found it to be super useful just because of how many cards you actually draw in this game where you're drawing 2 at the end of the round and resourcing 1. But I do want to make this work. I want to like use Cassian or something like that to draw Rey, and just like at that point your card advantage is up and you get to deal damage. It's cool. I think it's fun. Then our holo is a Last Words. If a friendly unit was defeated this phase, give 2 experience tokens to a unit. Nice. So there you go. That is the Darth Maul starter deck, the Spotlight deck. Let me know what you think in the comments, and yeah, we'll see you next time.